friends, today I'm going to discuss a new topic, that is solutions. So let us see a brief introduction of the solutions. First of all, we should know the basics of the solutions. So let us discuss each by one. Now here, let us see here what are types of mixtures. Okay, so the types of mixtures is nothing but what? Mixture is nothing but if any two components is present, that one we call it as types of mixtures. So here we are having homogeneous mixtures and heterogeneous mixture. Homogeneous mixture is nothing but what we can say here, which is clear liquid. Okay, if you take any type of solution, if you add any number of components, it will be a clear liquid. That one we call it as homogeneous. For general example, I want to say here, a general example is nothing but here salt and water. Salt and water. Okay, so means what? If you take a spoon of salt and if you add in water, it is dissolved. Okay, means what happening there? We are getting a clear liquid. Not only that, if you take a sugar and if you add in water, it is giving a clear liquid. Means that is also what here? That is also a homogeneous mixture. Means which is whatever components you are adding to the water, to the solvent, the solute is whenever the solute is adding to this solvent, it is giving a clear solution. That when we call it as what here? Homogeneous mixture. For that only we are taking here what here? True solutions. The true solutions is nothing but the clear dissolving, means the clear solution whatever we are getting, that one we call it as true solutions. Here the true solutions having particle size, the particle size of true solution is very small. Okay, so this is nothing but homogeneous mixture. Now we are having heterogeneous mixture. The heterogeneous mixture is nothing but what here? Which is a different components. Means for example, if you add also, it is not going to dissolve. Those type of things we call it as homogeneous, which is a colloidal dispersion we can say. So here it homogeneity means what here? Something evenly distributed means same. Something not distributed evenly in space means what? It is forming different types of compounds. That one we call it different types of compounds, we call it as heterogeneous mixture of solutions. So this is nothing but type of mixtures. Now let us see here definition of solutions. Solution means here a solution is a homo mixture of two or more substances, we call it as solution. And also it is a homogeneous mixture of solute and solvent, we call it as a solution. And also it is a homogeneous mixture of two substances consisting of one phase, that one we call it as solution. So here what we are saying, it is a homogeneous mixture of two or more substances. Two or more substances means if you add any substance, whether it is one substance, two substance, if you add sugar plus salt, means what? We are adding to the water. To the water we are adding what here? Salt we are adding, and also we are adding sugar. So total how many? To this solvent we are adding how many? Two substances. Means what? It is giving a homogeneous mixture, then it is a solution. And what we have told here, a solution is a homogeneous mixture of solute and solvent. So here what will be the solute here? The NaCl and sugar will be the solute, water will be the solvent. Okay, that one we call it as what here? Solution. And also what we are saying, a solution is a homogeneous mixture of two substances consisting of one phase. So means what here? For example, water you are taking, it is a liquid, right? So the water is a liquid. And also if you take one more thing, for example, if you are taking salt, solution. Okay, so this is the H2O, this is the salt solution. So now what happens? So the salt solution consists of what here? Liquid. Okay, so these two are liquids only, no? So means what? This is a liquid, this is a liquid. So this is one phase. If you take salt is a solid plus sugar is a solid, so that one. So means what here? This is a solid, this is a solid. So means what here? These two are in one phase. So means what? The solution is a homogeneous mixture of two substances consisting of one phase. Means whatever substance we are taking, here the salt if you take here and also sugar if you take, both are in solid. So it is containing one phase only, no? That is nothing but here homogeneous mixture. So these are any of these three, we can write the definition. And next one, let us take here, let us see what is a solute and what is a solvent. So here solute, I am saying solute is dissolved in solvent, no? So means what here? The solute consists of NaCl or sugar or any salt you can take. Okay, the solvent is here water. So means what? Solute is the substance being dissolved. Means the solute should have to dissolve. Being dissolved is nothing but it should have to dissolve. Okay, that one we call it as solute. Recently you had did experiment of water density. Okay, so what you have did to the water, you have added lemons. So means what? The lemons is not going to dissolve. Okay, you are going to add that lemon in the water. In the same way here you are adding solute to the water. So here what happens here? The solvent is the liquid in which the solute is dissolved. So means what here? The solute should be dissolved in water, that one we call it as solvent. Clearly I'll explain you with a general example. I'll say here water you are taking, this water is a solvent. Why? Because the water is, you are taking very large amount, means in glass of water you are taking, right? So in glass of water if you are taking, means more amount of water you are taking, no, very large amount, that one we call it as solvent. Then what is solute? Solute is nothing but here which is taking in a small amount. For example, 1 spoon of salt, 1 spoon of sugar, only 1 spoon you are adding, right? That one we call it as solute. Means a small quantity of the salt or sugar we call it as solute. A large amount of water we call it as solvent. So this is nothing but solute and solvent concept. So then what is binary solution? Binary solution consisting of a homogeneous mixture consisting of one phase and containing only two components, that is one solute and one solvent, we call it as a binary solution. So what is binary solution? We can say here one is solute, another one is solvent. So means general example I am saying now from starting onwards here. So water is a solvent and solute what you can take, whether it is salt, whether it is sugar, you are adding. So that one means it is containing two, no? Binary means bi means two. So one is salt is one component, another one water is another component. So by this what we can say, it containing two. So total it is a binary solution. So by this what we can say, this binary solution is in a one phase. So it is a homogeneous mixture consisting of one phase containing only two components of, that is one solute, one solvent, we call it as what here? Binary solution. So this is nothing but solute, solvent and binary solution. Okay. Now let us discuss what is saturated solution, dilute solution, concentrated solution, unsaturated solution, supersaturated solution. Now see here dilute solutions. Dilute solutions is nothing but what here? A solution containing only small quantity of solute compared with the amount of solvent. That when we call it as dilute solution. So general example I have told you. You are taking a water solvent. In that you are adding very small quantity, means sugar or salt. You are adding only 1 spoon. That one we call it as what here? Dilute solution. See here, I am taking in a beaker 100 ml water. Okay, to this 100 ml water I have added 10 grams of NaCl. So means what we are adding, this one it is going to dissolve in this. Again for this, again I am taking 100 ml beaker. In this 100 ml water I am adding, to this I am adding 30 grams of water. Okay, so now you see here, if you add 10 grams of NaCl, it is going to dissolve. When coming to, if you add 30 grams of NaCl, it is not going to dissolve. So here we are taking same quantity of water, but coming to here, it is the 10 grams is dissolving in water, it is a dilute solution. If it is not dissolving in water, it is a concentrated solution. So general example, you take a water. In that water, what happens? In that water, if you add 1 spoon, the salt is dissolved. If you add 2 spoons, the salt is going to dissolve. If you add 3 spoons also, it is going to dissolve. Like that, if you add 10 spoons, okay, instead of 3 spoons, if you add 10 spoons, what will happen? It is not going to dissolve. Why? Because there the concentration is increasing. The salt concentration or sugar's concentration is increasing. Whenever the concentration is increasing, it is not going to dissolve. That one we call it as what here? Concentrated solution. Okay, have you clear about dilute and concentrated solution? So what is dilute solution here? The dilute solution is which is dissolving. A small quantity of solute is dissolving. That one we call it as dilute. And coming to here, concentrated solution which is not going to dissolve. That one we call it as concentrated solution. So now let us see unsaturated solution. So what is unsaturated solution? Now only I have spoken. So unsaturated solution means, for example, 100 ml beaker, we are adding 30 grams of sugar or salt. It is going to dissolve. Okay, so at 30 degrees, at room temperature, I have given temperature here at 30 degrees. So see here, 3 beakers I have taken. So in this water I have added. For this also I have added water. Okay, so this is a 100 ml water. This is a 100 ml water. This is a 100 ml water. This is a 30 degrees centigrade. This is a 30 degrees centigrade. Now see here, unsaturated solution is nothing but what here? Here, if you add 10 grams of salt or 20 grams of salt, it is going to dissolve. Okay, if you add how much salt also, it is going to dissolve. More amount of solute we are going to dissolve at a given temperature. Means how much we are dissolving? Nearly 30 grams we are dissolving. Means more solute. Means if it is soluble, the solute is soluble, then we call it as what here? Unsaturated solution. For example, let us take a glass of water. If you add 30 grams of salt, if you are adding, it is dissolving, then it is called as a unsaturated. Means more quantity we are adding now to the water, that one we call it as unsaturated solution. Okay, now if you take saturated solution, instead of 30 grams, if you add 40 grams, okay, so means what here? At the same temperature only, same quantity only, we are adding what here? 40 grams of sugar. For unsaturated we have added only 30 grams, but coming to saturated we are adding 40 grams. So in that 40 grams, so the 36 grams is dissolved in water, remaining 4 grams is there, no? It is forming as a precipitate. Clear? See, once again I am saying, see here, the 36 grams is going to dissolve in water. The remaining 4 grams is not going to dissolve in water. So means what here? What happens? It is forming as a saturated solution. At same temperature, the unsaturated is dissolving, but coming to saturated solution, it is not dissolving. It is forming as a crystal. That is nothing but saturated. And coming to supersaturated solution. The supersaturated solution is nothing but here. So see here, supersaturated solution. The supersaturated solution is nothing but same temperature you are taking, so with a saturated solution. Okay, so means what here, it is forming as a precipitate. So when you heat it, then what happens, the temperature is increasing now, 60 to 70 degrees heating. At 60 to 70 degrees, whenever you are heating, what happens, it is going to boil. For example, if you are preparing a sugar syrup, okay, if you take less quantity of water and more quantity of salt, for example, for 100 ml of the water, if you are taking 200 ml of salt, then what happens, it is not going to dissolve in the water. When you heat that compound, what happens, it is going to dissolve. So by this, what we can say here, when that one, it's forming a saturated, supersaturated solution, means it is taking more quantity of this solute. That one we call it as what here, supersaturated solution. Now let us see definitions. Unsaturated solution is nothing but a solution in which more solute can be dissolved at a given temperature. That one we call it as unsaturated. And saturated is nothing but what here, the saturated is nothing but here where concentration is at maximum, no more solute is able to dissolve at a given temperature. Means what here, we have seen the example. Means if you are taking a beaker here, if you add 40 grams to this water, only 36 grams only it is going to dissolve, remaining 4 grams it is going as to form as a precipitate. That one we call it as saturated solutions. Only 30, how much it required, that much only it is dissolving. Remaining precipitate, what happening, it is forming as a precipitate. That one we call it as saturated. Then what is supersaturated solution? The supersaturated solution is nothing but here, a solution contains larger amount of solute than required for saturation. So means what here, by heating we are going to get the more solute. So here we are adding here water and we are taking for 50 grams, then it is going to add to the water. Then what happens, it is forming as a crystal. When you heat this one, what happens, when you heat this compound, it is going to soluble. That one we call it as supersaturated solution. So these are the basic terms of the solution to you understand. Without knowing this, we can't enter into our topic. So these are the basic terms in a solution. In the next class, we can discuss about the types of solution. Thank you.